Hello, good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending this webinar. As Luke has said, it's a joint webinar between SIRENE project and URBANAGE project. SIRENE is a CSA that started last year. It has already gone for 1 year now. And URBANAGE project is a project that started 3 years ago. We are going to finalize this January. So I think that it's going to be very interesting also to be able to see a real case of implementation in an early ending project. I will share my screen. Okay, let's see if it works. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay, I will put it full screen. Okay, so well, just a short overview across the agenda. Well, I am Silvia Urra, I come from Tecnalia. I am participating. I am lucky because I am involved in both projects. So that is why we also thought that it was interesting to join forces. I will launch you some questions about who is in the room to know who are the ones that are attending this webinar, and also to know which are the barriers that you experience when you want to implement smart, healthy, age-friendly environments. Then we will discuss the results or comment on them, and then we will have 3 different speakers. First, we will have Karina Dantas, that is the coordinator of SIRENE from SIRENE to Europe, and she will be telling us about the establishment of the context of the smart, healthy, age-friendly environments. Then we will have Marine, that she's from Edge Platform, she's involved in URBANAGE project, and she will tell us about the need of smart, healthy, age-friendly environments from the older people's point of view. And then we will have Jürgen Silence from URBANAGE project, also from Digital Flanders, and he will explain us a practical case of the implementation of smart, healthy, age-friendly environments in the region of Flanders. And we will have discussion and questions and answers. So, well, just to establish, I always use the same slide. If you have some many times, you will recognize it. But we have to have clear what is the future we are focusing on. I mean, for 2050, the 60% of the world's population will be over 65 years old. And also we have to take into account that the 68% of the population will be living in cities. This means that in the future, we will have cities with a lot of people living in them, and a big percentage of these people will be what is considered old. This makes clear that we need to do something, because this is going to present unique challenges around health, mobility, and the physical environment, apart from other challenges, of course. So we all know, we have already seen, we have read about it, and the World Health Organization has been talking about it for decades now, that environments play a key role in determining our physical and mental capacity. And also because in our life course, our capacities and circumstances change. And the environments have to be able to help us when we are experiencing a loss of function of capacities. So we have also to be aware that both older people and environments are diverse, dynamic, and changing. Not all the older people is the same, and not all the environments are the same. And interaction with each other, they have a big potential to enabling healthy aging. I mean, environment really have a lot of influence in how we age and how we live our lives. So you know that World Health Organization some decades ago launched the Age-Friendly Cities initiative, and nowadays it's a huge network with a lot of cities and countries and regions involved in it. And the Age-Friendly Cities initiative is working in different fields, and all those fields are what we consider smart, healthy, age-friendly environments. Because to have a smart, healthy, age-friendly environment, we have to take into account all those different fields, not just transportation, housing, or outdoor spaces, also community support and health services, communication and information, civic participation and employment, respect and social inclusion, and all those different fields. So I would like to present now our speakers that will tell us more about that from their different points of views, and also from their different fields of expertise. First of all, I would like to introduce Karina Dantas. She has a degree in law, and she's a PhD candidate on biomedical science in artificial intelligence, and is the CEO of SIRENE to Europe. And she's the coordinator of SIRENE. She's also the chair of the Cost Action Net for Age Friendly, And currently this cost action has around 70 participants from 50, and is also the director of the SHAFE Foundation, Smart Healthy Age-Friendly Environments. Please, Karina, if you want, you can jump in.
Thank you, Silva, for the very nice presentation, and it's a pleasure to be here as well with the colleagues from URBANAGE. I think it's a very nice synergy we have here today. Shall I proceed to my presentation? Yeah, okay, thank you. So let me share my screen and see if this is working well. I hope you can see it in full mode. Yeah. Okay, so I think I have a bit the more boring part of the webinar, because the colleagues from URBANAGE will be able to present very nice things that are already in place, especially Jürgen, and for sure this will be more interesting than my part. But I'm here to set the scene a little bit, so I will try to do it and hopefully not get you to sleep. So as Sylvia already presented, there is this whole idea of how to implement communities and places where we can all live throughout our different phases of life. And this idea of promoting inclusive communities is actually the base of SHAFE Europe, which is the company which I come from. We mainly work around this concept of social innovation and ethics, as well as policy, and how this all goes together to try to promote more inclusive communities. But today we are here to talk about a very specific concept, and this is the smart, healthy, age-friendly environments. And as Sylvia already explained, this is very much connected to the age-friendly environments concept from the WHO. And for more years than I want to say now, a group of people where Sylvia was also, and a lot of colleagues from each platform, we were working around the European Innovation Partnership on Active and Healthy Aging, and the whole concept of the World Health Organization on age-friendly environments was the basis of our discussions. But then digitalization came heavily into the playing field, and at a certain point we were thinking that more themes had to be included in the discussions, especially on the side of policy and funding, because at the end what would happen was that, well, it still happens, unfortunately. In member states, we have a ministry for health, another for social care, other people take care of the digitalization, and others have urban planning. Then you have the construction companies, and very often all of the strategies for these fields are actually not connected. And what this means is that even if at European level, or if at project level, we discuss this and we are very clear that all of these different areas should be aligned, the fact is that very often this doesn't happen. And even when we have joint strategies, another issue is that very often as well, there is no funding to support actual implementation that reaches people. For example, to retrofit houses, to make them usable by people as they age, or to restore the public environments in a way that people with a disability or pregnant women or small children can use them. So at the end, we have a lot of these ideas which are very solid in our minds, but we thought it would be very necessary to do some more pressure at the policy level. And this is why in 2017, we put together a thematic network. This is a voluntary network where people with a specific idea join together and design this framing paper, and then a joint statement, which is a policy document with a number of recommendations to be provided to the Commission and member states. And for our surprise, we actually joined at the time of the submission around 160 organizations, some of the present as well, who were available and happy to discuss this with us and to support the recommendations that were provided. So this was in fact what was developed, and I also take the chance here to share with you the links in case you want to read it. Unfortunately, they are still very, very useful now, because the number of things did not progress in terms of implementation as much as we wished, although they were very well received by a number of member states and also by the Commission, because in fact, at this time, we had DigiConnect and DigiCente both accompanying our thematic network, which was something that usually did not happen. So this was already a step forward into this discussion. And this was just an example of all of the people that supported this. Also, the President of the Republic of Portugal supported the SHAFE movement at the time, and this was also, of course, interesting at the policy level. However, when we finished the thematic network, we were thinking, well, we joined so many people with a common goal and enthusiastic about progressing with this. We should not lose it at a certain point. So we tried to take advantage of the momentum and progress with this idea of having a shared responsibility towards implementing common good. So the whole point was to try not to focus only, for example, on older adults or on the aging population, but in the whole life course of people, and try to consider that different environments, either at work or at the social level, should be encompassing the different age stages of people. And this should be, if possible, well enabled by digital technologies, and should also include either built environments and the natural environments. And this is how it progressed to smart, healthy, age-friendly environments. The whole idea was that if we work well, then what we will do is to give people the knowledge, the services, the resources, and the environments where they can go through their lives, they can live in different ways and in different moments, but at all times they have the conditions to progress actively and healthy in their course of life. So at the end, this is a bit what represents this idea of smart, healthy, age-friendly environments, is to have all of these different areas working together and trying to leverage on each other to provide better services to people. However, at this point, as we were saying, we had a lot of people interested and committed, but we needed to promote cooperation and also to promote implementation at the local level, which was the main goal. So for the cooperation part, we started the discussion around submitting a proposal to a cost action, which is usually a more research-oriented initiative. But to this specific action, we propose to have the full quadruple helix of stakeholders together, and to have not only academics and scientists, but to have also the industry, public authorities, NGOs, and citizens represented, and discuss how can we promote that at the local and regional level, the countries in Europe can start implementing actions that actually foster this more inclusive communities. This is now in its last year, so it's a 4-year action, and we are now heading to the last year. And we reached more or less 700 participants in the network and cover 50 countries, which is a nice overall broad network, because it also includes countries outside of Europe. And it's very interesting, for example, to learn more from the colleagues from Australia, from Canada, from Japan, etc., which have completely different cultural approaches. And it's quite interesting to exchange this between the European countries and others. Also inside Europe, we have a lot of colleagues from Eastern countries, which actually are very, very active in the action, and also bring a lot of differences to what is, let's say, the Mediterranean approach, or then the type of policy implementation that exists in the more in the center of Europe. So it's quite interesting to see all of these matches. But then we still needed to go for implementation, and this is how SIRENE was born. Because we now, with the cost action, have a lot of room to be discussing more on the knowledge side and exchanging ideas and experiences. But then we were also trying to understand how to connect better the areas that were discussed around SHAFE. And at a certain point, there was this call for the participation of social innovation actors in innovation ecosystems. And we actually thought that this was one of the missing links. For example, at the local and regional level, we had a lot of grassroots initiatives starting and implementing innovative solutions, but very often the connection with the innovation ecosystems, that is with the industry, with the digital partners, was really not existing. So very often they were starting small initiatives, but then they didn't have the leverage to be further implemented or to be sustained at the business level. So the overall aim was to try to put these different areas of knowledge together and to try to promote their further upscale. So SIRENE was very successful in the proposal stage, and then we were launched as with this idea of promoting social innovation that actually reaches communities to enable inclusive, green, and smart housing and environments. So the main focus is more on the built environments, but that these built environments are sustainable and green and eco-friendly, because this is also a very relevant aspect, especially in the current context. So as Sylvia already explained, we are now in the second year, and we have a very nice set of partners that includes a lot of the present. We are, let's say, mostly developing the project around this number of axes. So on one side, we are trying to develop the social innovation framework. That is, what is, let's say, the framework that is needed to try to bring social innovation into the playing field. And for this, we have this kind of modular approach where we are developing a manual, a toolkit, a capacity building framework, a sustainability strategy, and a blueprint of good practices. So the idea is that these materials can be used by different types of stakeholders that are targeted specifically to them and can help each of them to progress with this implementation of SHAFE through a social innovative approach. Of course, that piece then is supported on some digital tools. On one side, the repository that Tecnalia is leading the development for collecting all of the knowledge and making it available, and a digital and expert hub, which I will explain in a bit. And of course, this would be completely only with us if we didn't have any way to disseminate it and to support stakeholders to get it to know better and to progress on the implementation. So we have a lot of different informative sessions. And for example, this webinar is a nice example of it. But also capacity building activities, for example, providing trainings and in coordination with Net4H Friendly, also providing training schools face-to-face, grants to develop specific knowledge aspects, and videos, information packages, etc., where the different aspects of SIRENE are being put forward. We developed in the first year the state-of-the-art. Our colleagues from Afetami led the works, and they put together a number of different aspects, either on the approach as also on what exists. And we reached this idea of the transnational local sphere model, which is, let's say, the process through which we think that cooperation at the ecosystem level could exist for the future. So it's actually built upon the helix framework model. So for example, the quadruple helix, etc., which I actually presented earlier. But the idea is that we depart from the local level and the small number of stakeholders that exist in each local or regional ecosystem, and then promote cooperation with other regions and countries from there. And in our understanding, this can be a good way to try to promote, for example, good practices with what exists in each of the regions or countries, and to try to make a good balance between local knowledge and implementation and the cooperation between different areas of Europe. And almost at the end, just to say that also from this first year, we developed this gap analysis and understood a number of issues that perhaps are interesting to mention. For example, that there are a lot of technological solutions. I think we all know this, but very often a number of issues are not really represented there. For example, identity, emotional connectivity, privacy, social activity, employment, or affordability. So a number of aspects are maybe in need of having more influence of social sciences into the technological development. I think we all know this already, but we need to understand how to put these different actors more close and more in discussion. And of course, that in a number of aspects also, the business models are not actually present in most of the social innovation initiatives. So there is this gap still of understanding how to exploit and make an initiative sustainable. And this is really an important aspect to ensure that social innovation can progress at the local level. And of course, then education and awareness is needed on most of these topics. And this is why we are here today. So we do hope that this reaches more people and that progress is somehow made through that. I said before that we also have an expert hub. So this is the part that I said that I will present now. The idea is that all of this work around SIRENE is not fully developed by us as partners, but that we have representatives from whole Europe co-designing it with us. So from the beginning, we had this idea of either recruiting or accepting proposals from experts from different areas. The idea is that they cover all of the SHAFE areas, and that we have periodic meetings with them where we put the different aspects of the social innovation framework or others at the discussion, and we incorporate their feedback. As a final note, saying that this concept of SHAFE, as well as Netfor and of course SIRENE, were recognized as a United Nations good practice connected to the Sustainable Development Goals, and we had the opportunity to present it in New York in September, also to try to make an additional effort to progress at the policy level, which was well received. So we do hope that we can also reach other continents with this initiatives. Saying, well, if there are people here who want to work with us somehow in SIRENE, then you can apply to be an expert. We are also working around the idea of having these ecosystems that can try to implement the social innovation framework and be, for example, early adopters or testing it. Of course, participate in the different activities and provide us with materials for the repository, which are also very welcome, because as more as we have, as more knowledge as we have, the more knowledge we can also disseminate, which is very welcome, of course. And I think that was it. As I say, I hope the best part is still to come. But I thank you in advance for the attention, and I look forward to know more about URBANAGE as well.
Here. Yeah, thank you very much, Karina. I think that you have given us a very nice overview of the process to reach the stage at which one we are now. And I think that it's good to know where things come from. Now I would like to give the floor to Marine Luc. She's from Age Plan for Europe, is responsible for managing age research project on active and healthy aging, age-friendly environments, long-term care and malnutrition. And she's involved in the communication and dissemination of scientific results to a wide audience, especially to older persons. So please, Marine, if you want to, you can share your screen.
Perfect. Thank you, Silvia, for the presentation. So I'll share my screen. All right. Can you see my screen in full mode? Yeah, great. Well, so I'm Marine Luc, working for Age Platform Europe as a project officer. And I will bring today the perspective of older persons for the to build smart, healthy, age-friendly environments. I will continue with a little bit of theory, Karina, so you will not be alone on this. And before dipping a little bit more into URBANAGE example as a nice example of an age-friendly environment focusing on older adults. So I will just start with a little bit of presentation here of who is Age Platform Europe. So it's a European umbrella organization based in Brussels. So we have more than 100 members, which are organization of older people, organization working for older people across the Europe. So what Age mission is to celebrate longevity as one of the greatest achievements of the humanity. We seek to combat ageism and promote human rights throughout the life course. So this is also something that we heard from presentation from Karina and Sylvia. We really promote the life course approach perspective. And we also work together with our members to reduce inequalities and enable everyone to live a full and dignified life. One of the core values that we and guiding principles that we have is that age-friendly environment is essential for equitable and inclusive communities for all ages. So this is picture from our members, and you can see our president on the left side of the screen and our former president actually. I just want to come back a little bit with figures, and I think this slide actually, or these figures are actually interesting for us, for people who are not maybe acquainted with aging issues specifically. So here you can see this is a chart from Eurostat. So this chart actually shows the healthy life years at birth from women and men. And it's interesting actually to cross these figures with the life year expectancy at birth from women and men. So actually the healthy life years at birth, this indicator shows the number of remaining years that a person of a certain age is supposed to live without disability. And so this actually, this healthy life years introduce the concept of quality of life. And it's used to distinguish the years of life free of any activity limitation with the years experience with at least one activity limitation. So the emphasis is not exclusively on number of years, but also the number of years living years with the quality of life. And so you can see here that actually the median age for a woman with healthy life years at birth is 64, where the life years expectancy at birth for women is 83, which means that actually we have potentially 20 years to live with at least one limitation activities. And for the men, so medium age of healthy life years at birth, 63.5, whereas the life years expectancy at birth for men is in medium in Europe, 78 years old. So it shows actually the number of years we will potentially need environment which is age-friendly around us, and the importance and really the timing issue, it's quite large. So this is also a way to introduce the importance of SHAFE for other adults. And it's also important for people who are designing or building environments, so developers, urban planners, to understand exactly what do we mean with aging. So aging is actually a universal natural process. It's something that happens to us in the second half. It's not something that happens to us in the second half of our life, but it's a lifelong process. We age actually from the moment we are born. In this sense, aging is in another word for living. That's why here we have a cross interest into aging and age-friendly environment, living in an environment which actually match the need from older people. And therefore, old age is neutral, neither good nor bad. Unfortunately, older people are living the biggest discrimination, recognized as such, which is called ageism. So ageism, all of you may already know what it's about. So from the World Health Organization definition, ageism refers to how we think, so the stereotypes, we feel prejudice, and we act discrimination towards other or ourselves based on our own age. Here, the link with smart health environment, smart health and friendly environment is that unfortunately, ageism is everywhere and is socially well accepted. Here you can say that you can see here on my screen that less than a week before the International Day of Older People, so in October, we came across this ad on the right side, which is say, does your building also need a facelift with a picture from an older person on the left. It was actually a picture which was in the EU neighborhood in Brussels. So you can see how this kind of ad actually perpetuate ageism. And this is a little bit the reality that we face today. Whereas the expectation from our members, at least, and from, well, so millions of other people in Europe, is to show some non-stereotypical images, as you can see on the age in the left side of my slide. And it's also showed that we need to further advocate for this age equality strategy to combat ageism. So to deep in a little bit more in smart health and friendly environment, preparing this presentation, I was trying to understand how this deployment of SHAFE in Europe is or could be a lever for greater inclusion of older people. A key word here is accessibility. Age-friendly environments, notably accessibility, is a cornerstone to enable older people doing what they value most. So here the idea is really to empower the adults to be able to do whatever they value, and that this environment actually adapts or developers, urban planner actually take into some consideration this value and start from what do they value the most, rather than what do we think they value the most, because this thing can be also with prejudice and with stereotypes. It will help to change the narrative around aging, so to bring everyone on board, not only older adults, but also policymakers, companies, all the communities around older adults. And it's actually will be also an opportunity, or it's really a lever actually to enhance autonomy and independence, because actually accessibility enables people to move around, to do physical activity, to feel safe enough. It has a strong impact in well-being, and it covers a wide range of issues like mobility, green spaces, pavement, built environments, but also access to leisure and cultural activity, to information, to digital tools, key services, which then at the end foster participation of other persons in society. After this theoretical slides, now dipping into a concrete example of how we can involve more in other adults into society and allow them to, as I was saying, make them participate to society and feel actually useful to society. With this project URBANAGE, so it's a 3-year project, European Horizon 2020. This project investigates how digital technology, and more specifically how urban platform digital tools can address the needs of other people in their urban environment. 3 pilot sites have been developed in different use cases, which I will briefly present after in my presentation. So we had the city of Helsinki in Finland, Santander in Spain, and the region of Flanders were represented here with Jürgen, who will follow the presentation. You can here use this QR code if you want with your smartphone to go directly on our website, urbanage.eu. These projects actually not only involve other adults, but also involve civil servants who are working for different departments. So as Karina was said, you usually don't have only civil servants working on urban planning who are involved in the development of urban tools, but it must be a combined work from civil servants from different departments. So in the project, we not only involve all the adults with different backgrounds, but we also involve civil servants with different expert field of expertise. So social policy, mobility, transport, social, urban planning, IT development. So the idea of the project was really to gather these different profiles in order to develop the most close to the needs of all the adults and civil servants digital tool and close to their expectations. In terms of engaging with other adults in this project, so we have developed at the beginning of the project guidelines for citizen engagement, other adult and civil servant. These guidelines were also including digital tools engagement, so how you can not only engage with citizens for a research project, but how you can engage with civil servants and other adults through digital tools. So this was important for us to understand exactly how we can reach the more excluded people here, which is a challenge actually, because most of the time in research you reach the people who are already active, who are already digitally literated. So these guidelines was also a way for us to understand how we can reach more excluded person. We also involve other adults in co-creation activities. I insist on the because co-creation activities mean that we co-create, we co-design with other adults and people involved in research, and here with civil servants as well. All the different use cases and digital tools developed in the project were tested by other adults, and the feedbacks that we received from them were also included in the further development of the tools. Jürgen will, I think, go back on this point. And so the different use cases were all co-developed, tested, and contrasted with other adults. Here, it's the list of the key exploitable results from the project. I don't think I have the time to go through all of them, but you can go on the website and you will have a larger detailed explanation of what the use cases that were developed. One of the focus of URBANAGE is, of course, replication. So it will be interesting for us to know if one of these use cases can be interesting in other cities, in other or other cities or other target group, for example. But here I invite you to go on our website. We have nice videos explaining all the use cases that have been developed. And I will just finish my presentation with an interview that we had with Thiago Eric de Sa, a well-known World Health Organization member and working on the demographic change and healthy aging unit, saying that as long as we start from engaging with all the people, understanding what is meaningful to them and involving them throughout the process, we will most likely foster all the benefits of technology to make the world a better place to age for the generation of today and tomorrow. And so that's it for my presentation. I think we can have questions later. And I will then give the floor to Sylvia again.
Thank you very much, Marine. Also very inspiring session. Yes, we have to have clear in this when we are working around age-friendly environments or SHAFE environments that people has to be put in the center. So we have to involve them from the beginning. I mean, we have been a lot of years designing things without taking into account the needs of the people that was supposed to be using there afterwards. So we should learn from our fails of the past. And in this case, as I say always, it's a kind of something for ourselves also. I see my age goes quickly, so I will need, I have to invest on this. So thank you very much. And now I will give the floor to Jürgen Silence. He has been a project manager at the Digital Flanders Department of the Flemish government for 4 years. He has been actively involved in various EU AIDS 2020 projects such as Polyvisu, Duet, Compare, and URBANAGE. And apart from general project management, he is specialized in developing digital twins, conducting functional analysis, user interface and user experience design, technical team support and evaluation. He specifically in URBANAGE project has been working in the Flanders use case, and he will give us an insight and an overview of what has been done in Flanders. So please.
Okay. Sylvia, thank you very much for this nice introduction. So as a last presenter, I will present some of the results and the applications that we built with URBANAGE. Marine, she gave already a full list of all the applications that we made. So I will only present one of them. So with these solutions that we made, we contribute also this way to SHAFE, the smart, healthy, age-friendly environments. I would also like to give a live demo of the digital twin that we built, but maybe I can start also with some background information. Oh, it's not moving. Yeah, okay. Marino already gave some background information, but okay, to recap a bit. So it's a project that started in February 2021. We will end up in January next year. So it's still 1.5 months to go. We are 12 partners coming from 6 countries. Our goal is to improve the comfort for older adults in the city. And we do this by making some digital twins. For Flanders, we made 2 Flemish cases, and to solve this and to make these Flemish use cases, we worked together with IMEC. So one of the things that we made was the establishment of a green comfort index map. Wait, I moved this a bit. Okay. So what is it? So with the Green Comfort Index map, we want to quantify the green and comfortable zones in the city for rural adults, and we use digital twin technology. But first of all, to know what comfort means for all the people, we organized some co-creation workshops. Marine was mentioning those before, but with these co-creation workshops done with older adults, but also with other stakeholders, we could really pinpoint like the parameters that are really relevant for older adults. So we found out after all these workshops that health impact is very important. That means air quality, but also noise pollution, heat stress, and shadow impact. Also, green and blue infrastructure is very important for older adults. So they like trees, parks, but also fountains, ponds, and waterfronts in the neighborhood for them. Street furniture, of course, like people like to sit on benches, have some picnic tables around, public toilets, street lights, and drinking fountains. And of course, the accessibility is also really very, very important, and the reachability of zones as well. So, and this is what you see here at your left. So what we did is like taking all these parameters, we had a formula, putting all these parameters together. This formula is something that you can change yourself. You can put some extra weights for some of the aspects. So you can change also, you can add some extra data layers if you like, but you have 1 score per surface unit. And we use, as you can see, hexagons as surface unit. You can see that some of the hexagons are missing as well. So this is public domain. So we only measure in a public domain. So sorry, this is not the public domain where the hexagons are missing, of course, but we only measure in public domain. That's why the empty spaces are there. And we use a color scale. That's really very easy. As you can see, like the green hexagons mean that the comfort is very high. So it's good places for older people to sit, while the red hexagons are places that are not so comfortable and have a less high score. So we built these solutions for 3 target groups. So we have the older citizens. So they themselves can explore maps, and I will show it to you in a few minutes. They can explore a map and find comfortable spots. So they can also improve the green comfort model by giving some feedback. With feedback, they can say, for example, there's something missing or something is wrong, or there should be a bench here or there. And then the experts, so they also can give some feedback, but they can also make some simulations. And I will show this also. And they can design scenarios and present it to the public. And then the policymakers, of course, they can look for the best locations for new infrastructure. They can also ask themselves, where is this green comfort index? Where is this green comfort lacking based on this map? And where can we improve the accessibility and reachability for high comfort zones? You can have a very nice comfort zone, but it needs to be reachable as well, because otherwise older adults will not like it very much, I think. But okay, this is more, maybe I take one more slide. So I think there's no better way to explain what we did as by using personas. So we created this imaginary person having specific needs, looking for specific solutions, using URBANAGE solutions. And this is Frans. So he's here at the left here, this picture. It's a retired person living in Ghent. It's the city in Flanders of about 270,000 people. He has a friend. This is the friend. It's called Fernand. And he has some challenges. So during hot summer days, it's really very, very hot because his house is really poorly isolated, as in so many cases in Flanders. So you want to meet outside with his friend, and they're looking for a comfortable place somewhere outside to find some refreshment. And this is where the story starts. So this is the solution that we built. It's a digital twin, as you can see. Move this a bit. So, and this is the city of Ghent. You can see the green comfort index and the color scale as shown. So I zoom in for one specific place where Frans wants to meet his friend. And he felt like, okay, this looks like a really very nice spot, because there's a green hexagon, meaning that the green comfort index or the quality for the comfort is very high. And then you can explore it a bit more in detail. So you can say, okay, I can see some trees already, but are there some benches? So you can also see the benches. Okay, there are some benches in the park. It's also park area. That's also something you can see. You can find the trees. You can check also, are there some public toilets in the neighborhood? Because this is also very important. And I see, okay, here is a public toilet. It's not so close, but okay, it's good enough for us. And okay, for drinking water, there's no drinking fountain there, but that's not needed for me. But this is the way how older people can find the very comfortable spots in the city themselves. So that's already one of our solutions. Okay, so I'll go back to the presentation. Okay, yeah, maybe also something I can show. If we zoom in a bit, we can also add like to the same region here. You can also see the buildings. So it's a different layer on top. So you can see like, okay, here's a church. And you can explore also, like you have a few benches here. You can also explore how the shadow impact will be. So now you can see like the benches are in the shadow at certain times. You can also see and predict how the shadow will be, for example, in the afternoon. So now it's at this moment, but you can see in the afternoon also how the shadow is moving. And then you can see, okay, at warm, hot summer days, you can predict like, okay, I meet with my friend at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because then these benches will be in the shade. Okay, this is one of the things that we wanted to demonstrate. And then we also built like a model, and this is more directed to civil servants. So they can also use the application that we made by making some simulations just to predict how the impact of some addition of extra POIs, so in the landscape, can change the green comfort index. And I will demonstrate this as well. So this is the module that is built for the civil servants. So here you can see like the city of Ghent again, and then we can make some simulations. So we go to the park again, and then like the civil servant can say, okay, I see that there's a lot of good, the area is good, but it's a bit small. Maybe we can improve it a bit by adding some extra stuff. So they can say, okay, I would like to add a park. So can say I will make an extra park somewhere over here. So this will be park area. You can say like, okay, I would like to add some benches. And add them at the places you like. You can also add like a toilet, it's also very important, of course, here in the middle. And maybe also a drinking water fountain can be added. Okay, and then you can say you have made a simulation. So after you can copy the simulation and you can import it back again here in our viewer, this digital twin viewer. So, and then if you look like to the green comfort index on the floor, we'll see if this is, I can't see it yet, so there's some delay. But what you will see is then that all these hexagons that are colored here will improve in color. So you can see that the green comfort index is improving. So it's really a very good tool for civil servants to use just to make simulations and to see where you should have an impact in the city to improve the quality for older people. But I think that's about it for my demonstration. So I hope you enjoyed it. So Sylvia, I think I come back to you.
Thank you very much, Jürgen. It seems so easy when you tell it in 15 minutes. It has been 2 years, nearly 3 years of work. But yeah, it's very interesting, and well, I already know it, so for me it's not new, but I think that people like to see these concrete examples. So now I was going to ask you, but I think that it's better to wait to see if someone in the audience wants to ask something to our speakers. If someone wants to jump in, yes, you can switch on your micro and or put your questions in the chat. I see that Marta is saying that it's good also for young families when you have to choose somewhere in the city to go with your kids in summertime, or even in winter also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so someone wants to ask something? No?
Well, I would just say that I really like the presentation. I find it really interesting and super easy to understand. So it's good if you consider actually further exploiting it for other age ranges or other uses, because I think it's really a nice output. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
May I ask a question? First of all, congratulations. This is really amazing. And your explanation, I feel like, yeah, it's easy to be used, but I am sure that there was a lot of work behind this app or this system to be easy like this, and you just simplify it in your explanation. But I wonder now if I wanted to the input from where the input I put it. Now I am a new person and I wanted to know if this garden have something or this street or whatever. I wanted to edit something. So how I can evaluate and how I will know it's this something is missing. Where the input come from?
So first of all, you can explore like the map, as you have seen, with the hexagons, and you can see on the color of the hexagons where things are missing. But each hexagon itself, and that I didn't show, I forgot, but if you click the hexagon, you can see the details as well. So you have different parameters, and you can get an individual score for each parameter. So for example, you can see that like there's 3 benches, but there's no drinking fountain and there's no toilet. So then you know what is missing to improve the score as well. And then you can think about, oh, we still have a budget at the local government to buy some extra benches or to plant some extra trees, for example, and this can improve your score.
Okay. And from the beginning, the input was this is from the government or some association to know this area missing something, right?
Well, the information we got, it's basically open data. So we got a lot of the data from OpenStreetMap, but we also got like a heat stress map that was more like from the government. We got it from the government, but we built our solution in this way that every country or every city can choose their own data set. So you can look around and find a nice couple of data sets, you can put them together. And then you can also say, like, I think that this data set, for example, the benches at your place, are more important than heat stress, for example, or toilets or whatever. So you can also give a weight to it. And you can change the formula behind it. So you can change the way you look at the things to change also the way of scoring the hexagons and coloring the hexagons. So it will be, well, really tailor-made specifically for you or for your department.
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's amazing solution. And this will be in the market or how we will use it?
Well, that's still something that we are exploring now. If we can put it in the market, there's quite a lot of people that are already interested. But well, now at this point, we're looking for people that are really interested to share this solution. But the solution itself, the dashboard is still open and you can visit it if you like.
Yeah, I entered the website, but I didn't search a lot. I just wanted to follow the presentation to know more. But I already entered the website, urbanage.eu. I'm really interested in this topic.
I really feel free to explore it also and see what it can do. And well, you can already use the functionalities that we have available. And it's not only, I only presented like the solutions for Flanders, but of course, for Santander and Helsinki, they also have very nice solutions, while increasing like the comfort of older adults in their places. So it's also worthwhile to look at these solutions.
Okay, interesting. Thanks for the info and the discussion. I do really appreciate it.
The questions.
If I have any, I will send you.
Yes, sure, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that as this project was co-created with other people, the use cases in each of the pilots are different. I mean, because the needs of the older people of the city, some of the needs were common, but the interests were different also. So if you check in the webpage, you will find that the pilots are different, also depending on the characteristic of the city, of the region, or even the cultural context. I mean, the public space is not used the same in Santander than in Helsinki, for example. Also due to climate, I mean, the weather is not the same either. So it's interesting, and I invite you to visit the webpage. It has a lot of videos and things that I think can be useful to find more information, and then you can contact us. There is an email, you can just email us, and then we will get the questions. Any other question for the speakers? No? Okay, I think that we are surprisingly on time, just 60 minutes from the beginning. So I would like to thank you a lot for the speakers for being here and all the people that has been organizing the webinar. And of course, I want to thank you, the attendees, because we know that December is a very stressing month of webinars and things. And well, have a nice afternoon and see you next webinar. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sylvia. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.